Hello YouTube. I'm currently the only one online, but this is a Minecraft server called stompzcraft. So I'm going to show you around my town Blockville. This railroad track here has been made by Lady Rogue Melody. She's been doing a lot of work in this town, helping me out. It's just a little track that she's made to show people around the town. This is going to be some kind of farm for, I'm not exactly sure what, but I think it's sugarcane. And here's an iron farm that she also made. So it's 3 layers. I don't know if it's finished yet or not. But yeah, it produces a fair bit of food for, not food, iron for the village, the farm, town, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, there's, looks like 4 villages in each of these pods, I guess you could call them. She figured that this is probably the best amount to have for it to spawn the most number of iron golems. Sorry, I'm not very good at making YouTube videos. Here's a building that Rob's been making slowly but surely. Apparently it's going to be based off a real building. So it'll be good to see what that looks like when it's done. Here's a tree made by Trev. I've got to go above the clouds for you to see the top of it. And there you go. And a few other little buildings around town that people have been making and still are making. Yeah. This is a villager farm, so the villagers harvest the food for me. Not 100% sure if this one's working as efficiently as it could, but it's still producing more food than I can handle. Yeah, that should all be planted already. But the villager's taking his time. He doesn't really want to plant it. Oh, it seems like I've got a lighting issue in that one. Yeah. Where the lights, yeah, another one that's got lighting issues. I made a mistake with the lights in some of them. I'll fix that up later. But this lot, all these farms are producing only corn, not corn, carrots, potato and wheat. And the villagers turn the wheat into bread. But yeah. There's still lighting bugs with a few of them that I've got to fix up. This is from the this farm goes from the max build height, which is where I am, all the way down to bedrock, or just above bedrock anyway. So we'll go have a look at the bottom. All the way down, as you can sort of tell, there's lots of farms. It is producing that much food that it's not possible to keep on top of it. So this is me trying to keep on top of the amount of food it's producing. Bit overkill, I know, but yeah. And because it's a server, you can't really keep the chunk loaded, so you've got to restart these minecarts every time you reload this chunk. But yeah, I've got to do that at some stage. And they cart all the food up here. Then the farm isn't my design. I just made it look a bit nicer from the original You can find it on YouTube somewhere. I'll post the link in the description. There should be a minecart here, dropping the food into the hopper. This is not my design either, this redstone sorter, or hopper sorter, whatever you want to call it. It is also on YouTube. I'll try and find the link for it as well and put it in the description. And I've got another farm feeding into here, which is this. It sends most of its food into here, and that goes all the way down to bedrock from up here. If I can get past. It's a bit of a maze. So there should be a minecart waiting there, but it's not for some reason. I'll have to look at that later. But yeah, there's a hopper timer that sets all this off. I did not design the hopper timer, I just used it. Found it in a YouTube video. I don't know what this village is doing here, but oh well, you can stay there. Or even how he got there, he must have somehow hopped over here. Oh well. But I've got a smaller farm that feeds into this, and all these chests on this side are full, right to the very top. So this is, as you can sort of see, is the sorter. It's sorting all the food. I've just got named stone here, as you can see, and then the item that I want to sort on this side. Most of this is excess of what you need for the actual sorter, but because of how I've got it set up, this is just how I want to run it. And it all drops down into here, into these chests. There's just repeaters there, as you can see. Pretty simple. You can add overflow chests, that way when all these chests fill up, anything that doesn't, well, it's not just for when these chests get filled up, but any items that you don't want to go into these chests will flow into the chest on this side, because everything's flowing this way, so into the overflow chest. Though you do have to be aware that as soon as these chests down here fill up, then anything that was flowing into these chests will then flow into the overflow chest and fill it up. And then you've got to take all the items out of it. So if it's a double chest or a couple of double chests, it can take a while to sort. Now you can see this isn't quite full because I haven't had time to sit here and wait for it to fill up. Because when the chunk despawns down below, the minecarts don't continue filling these up. Bread doesn't get produced as fast as potatoes or carrots. Potatoes get produced the fastest, and then it's the carrots. But I've got more carrot farms than I do potato, so this gets filled up faster. It's the only reason the carrots are getting filled up faster. and maybe it's also a bit because it's the way I've got it sorted. So that all flows down here into another sorter, but because these 3 chests, the bread, the carrot and the potato are already sorted, I've just got them flowing into their respective slots. Gotta fix that potato one up, bread one up. But yeah, as you can sort of see. And then it flows into these chests, which go into some more mine carts, which are sort of, some are probably already sitting where they should be. Yep. There's another hopper timer for these. I've got about 3 hopper timers for each lot of mine carts. So, hopper timer for each group of mine carts that I want separated. And this is what a hopper timer looks like. Got nothing in that side, and you got stone or whatever items you want in that side. So the more items in this side here, the longer the delay. So if there was one item, it would not be much of a delay. So this is how I've got mine set up. Up to you how you set yours up, but this is the input is here. As you can see, there's no input coming from up above, only from down below. And this is an end, I'm pretty sure an end gate, if I remember correctly what it's called. So you got 2 inputs that produce 1 output, and it only produces an output when both are receiving an input, when both sides receive an input. So because one side, which is this side, is not receiving an input, you're not receiving an output. So that's how that's working. Take you up further. I think this is, oh, it's just back where it was. Like I said, this is all a bit of a maze, so yeah, easy to get lost. So this comes from down below where that last item sorter was, and the minecarts take the food up here and dump it into some chests up here, which are all full at the moment. And I've got it that way people who want to trade with the villagers on the other side of this wall just have to open these chests and take what they need. And the reason I've got beetroot here is because I've got another farm that's producing beetroot. But the only reason I don't have the big one producing beetroot is because there's not much use for beetroot at the moment. So you can't trade beetroot for with villagers. Villagers do not accept beetroot. You can feed it to the villagers, but you can't trade it. So it's sort of a pointless thing. Same with bread. Villagers will pick up bread and consume it, but for breeding purposes. But they will, you can't use bread to trade with them. You can use wheat to trade with them, but not bread. So this is the other track that leads to the other farm that I've got. It's an up and down, so this is up, this is down. I'm pretty sure, yeah. As you can see, lots and lots of redstone has been used. But yeah, I'll try and put a link to the farm in the description. But yeah, I have changed the corner a bit, so as you can see it's from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. I can't remember what the original is, but it's not 7, it's less than 7. And then what I did was I added this pillar for extra look, to make it look nicer. In the other farm I've removed this orange glass here. The glass can be any colour, it doesn't have to be any particular colour, and this can also be made out of whatever you like. The only thing that really matters is the dirt and everything inside. I'll show you inside quickly. So you can see it's producing food, but the minecart isn't taking the food anywhere, so they're just throwing it and it's going in there and just sitting there. It's something you got to think about, whether you want to add a thing that will destroy any excess food when you're done or not. It's entirely up to you. The glass can be any colour, but someone joined. Don't know who that is, but yeah, someone who hasn't been on in a while. They will say use a stone pressure plate, but I find the wood pressure plate works the best. And when you're setting this side up, make sure that it's this end where the villager stands. That is 2 blocks, so it's on the 3rd block away from the corner of this. So from here, it's 3 blocks. So 1, 2, and then 3. So if you count this block, it's 4. So the villager just basically picks the wheat up and turns it into bread. That's why you don't see wheat there. He will also chuck seeds in here, so be aware of that. But yeah. This is the first farm. I really took it down a bit low. That minecart is stuck because the other minecart is here. So it keeps getting pushed back halfway up. But because there's not enough redstone powered rails, it won't go all the way up. This is how I'm stopping them and starting them, I guess you could say. It's missing a... There should be another track just there. It looks like he's having trouble with the internet. Yeah. So this just goes to that hopper timer. Hopper timer controls all this, as well as the pistons at the other end. So these are just sticky pistons. So yeah. That's yeah. So I have done something different here. I've got a rail there.